Hey YouTube family, this is Mika Coleman with Tax Deed and Overages, and today I'm going to talk about how you can buy a property for $2,000 that's worth $50,000. Yes, I said that right. And guess what? I'm going to do a contest for those that could guess what state you can purchase a $2,000 property that's worth $50,000. I'm going to send you my book for free. So if you could guess that state, just put that in the link down at the bottom, and I will email you, and I will ask for your address, and I'll send you a free copy of my book. If you could guess a state that actually has properties that have either sold for $2,000 and they're worth $50,000, or you could take a guess. Like most minimum bids can start at like 500. Some of them start at like 200. But approximately properties, you can even look at past sales to see how much properties have actually sold for. So if you could kind of guess, of course I'll tell you the answer in another video about what properties you can get for $2,000 and can sell for $50,000. There's actually a few states, so just take a shot in the dark, because there is a lot of states, believe it or not. Since I've been doing this business, I have learned and noticed that there shouldn't be a reason why anyone should not own a property. Like, I used to think and believe that you had to have good credit, you had to have a lot of cash, you had to have a job. I used to believe all these traditional things of how you had to acquire a property until I got caught with my pants down, meaning, in the 2008, 2009 madhouse, when I lost all the properties that was supposed to help me retire by 40. That didn't work. I'm still working. So I'm so passionate about this channel is because just like you or someone else you may know have always thought that you had to acquire properties the traditional route, and you don't. There are so many avenues, and so that's why I'm excited to share this video about how you could buy a property for $2,000 that's worth $50,000. Matter of fact, I have a property right now, and I'm like, just make me an offer. I paid $2,000. I think in like one of my intro, I brought like 5 properties for $2,000. Each property was $2,000, so I ended up spending like 10 grand on 5 properties. That might give you guys a hint of the place of where I bought a place where you could buy properties that are $2,000. But I don't think those are worth 50. No, I don't think those are worth 50. So you got to remember, they have to be worth 50 if you buy them for $2,000. So just FYI, drop that state in the box if you think of a state that might be. Anyway, I wanted to talk about that because a lot of times people, once again, they don't think that they could afford it or they cannot acquire an actual physical property. You guys, I used to have this course. I took it down because I think so many people purchased it in the county. I think like 2 years later, literally changed everything. I literally made a course of it and gave everybody the details, and that product is no longer available. Why? Because the county did change it. They changed the rules, but you literally could buy properties, duplexes, triplexes for $1,000. It was just ludicrous. It was crazy. So however, there are tons and tons of places like that in the United States that you can buy a property for $2,000 that's worth $50,000. Now, this is a disclaimer, which I think a lot of people don't realize or they just don't know. If you're buying a property for $2,000, what do you think may possibly be wrong with that property? I'll wait. Yes, a lot. A lot of properties that you're going to get for $5,000 and below probably aren't in the best condition. Like literally, one of the things that I would tell you to avoid is if you are buying properties for $2,000, you might want to check the county records first to make sure it's not on the demolition list. I ran into that problem, and I had to pay for the demolition because guess what? I was the new owner. Anyway, tax deed mistakes, right? But there are actual properties that you can purchase for $2,000 that are worth $50,000, that are worth $100,000. Now, of course, properties that are probably worth $100,000 aren't going to close at the auction for $2,000. However, there is an interesting strategy that I have come across where I'm learning. Well, I shouldn't say learning, but I actually, because my first property that I ever purchased in tax deeds, and I shouldn't say it's property, it was a piece of land for $750. That's my claim to fame. $750, sold it for $15,000. I was super stoked, you guys. That's what made me move to Texas. Is I was like, if they have stuff like this going on all day long, then I'm packing up and leaving. And that's exactly what I did. I packed up and left California, and I now have land of plenty in Texas. And interesting enough, I had this goal of I wanted to uncover every county in Texas. Well, good luck, Mika. That has not been that successful. Actually, there's a lot of counties. I started with, and I'm going to tell you this too, to advise you, I started around the surrounding counties, which were an hour within where I lived. And what I found is every county doesn't have auctions all the time, and sometimes they just don't have property. So it's just kind of what do? And you go on to other counties, and that's why I've ventured into other states as well. So anyway, I want you to know that if you ever thought about purchasing a property and you never bought one because you didn't think you could afford it, well, I'm here to tell you that there is a way that you could afford a property. And let's just say you don't have $2,000. I know you know someone that does. And you tell them that if you buy it, you guys could split the proceeds. Because if you could get a house that's worth $2,000, buy it for $2,000, that's worth $50,000, you sell it to you wholesale it, you can double or even triple your money, depending on how much work it needs in a property. Also, too, I would advise if you're buying properties anytime $3,000 or below, I would suggest just buying it for land value. So that's one thing that you want to look out for. What else did I want to say? Most of the time, you're not going to actually get a physical property, but if you do, it probably needs to be demoed. But actually Georgia, see, I gave one away, so you guys can't use Georgia because there are some counties, but Georgia is a little tricky though, y'all, because Georgia, you be thinking you're gonna get properties and you get a mobile home, but they do have mobile homes for $2,000 or less, and you get the land, but those are oftentimes in the smaller counties. So you guys can't use Georgia. Scratch that, not Georgia, but there are plenty. So to wrap up this video, because I forgot everything I was about to say, if you know of a county or a state that you believe that you could get properties for $2,000 that's worth $50,000, drop them in the comments, and whoever wins, and it could be a lot of people, because I have a lot of these books, you guys, I keep forgetting to promote it, so I will send you I will definitely send you a book, and I will send a request for your mailing address if you participate in this challenge. Happy investing, you guys. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.